Hello students, today we're going to start with Module 3. So your next live day, we will actually be organizing your binders. So for right now, just make sure that you have it. There should be 3 holes in it, and you have it in your binder. Keep it in order. The white pages, Module 3, should start with rational numbers. And then you should have your yellow copies. Those will be your exit tickets following. And again, if there are 3 holes in it, you should put it in your binder and leave it in your binder. Treat it as a book. So we would not we would not tear pages out of our book. We're not going to do that with these either. Go ahead and put your name at the top, the hour that you have math class, the teacher or teachers, and the date that it is. And we're not going to decorate the front of this one right now because actually later we'll get more in depth with integers and rational numbers and what they are. We are going to be dealing a lot with number lines. The next page is all of our standards, our Common Core standards, and some of the vocabulary that we're going to be learning. This is a good page to read so you know what we're going to be doing. Lesson 1. Positive and negative numbers on the number line, opposite direction of the value. And then at the very, very bottom, it does say page student 1. Page student 1. So make sure you're organized. Pause the video if you are not ready. And we're going to begin taking notes. Just a little bit of vocabulary. Integers. An integer is a set of whole numbers I'm just going to put the symbol, whole numbers, and their opposites. Zero is its own opposite. So for example, a whole number would be 4, and the opposite of 4 would be negative 4. And this would be a set of numbers. The next part, we have a horizontal line and a vertical line. I'm going to go ahead and throw the 0. Typically, we write them on the right side of the number line. So if 0 is in the middle, and we are going to want to place numbers on the number line, we would just count whole numbers on each tick mark going to the right. These are our positive numbers. And they increase in value. And then going the opposite way, the opposite of 1 is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. And so these are our negative numbers, and they decrease. Anytime you want to mark on the number line, you would put a dot right on the line, right in the middle of the tick mark. Now we can show the opposites by 1 and negative 1. You can connect them like that. Sometimes negative 1 goes to 1. Sometimes they connect under. You could also put dots, 3 and negative 3. And we would show, so we plotted a point on the number lines. We did that. We're going to show and explain how to find the opposite of your number on both number lines. So what we want to notice from here to here, they are the same distance from 0. So opposites are the same distance from 0. My scale is by ones. So we were counting by ones. Sometimes students count by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sometimes a scale might be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that would be a scale of 1, 2, or 5, depending on which one you were doing. Now, over here on the vertical line, as your numbers increase, they go above. I kind of think of temperature or sea level. And then below would be your negative numbers. Again, same distance from 0. Your positive numbers up here, your negative numbers up here. They're increasing and they're decreasing. This should be real world examples, not read. So you can change that. Real world examples of vertical number lines would be, as I said, temperature or sea level, money. Those would be some real world examples. If I was going too fast, make sure you pause now before you move on to the next page. Everything I wrote down, you should be writing down as well. This is real important to getting your understanding of number lines. So make sure that you have good notes. The problem sets, we will skip. We will do those in class, so no need to do those on your own. And we are going to advance a few pages. I'd like the next page to be page 5. Lesson 2, page 5. All right, go ahead and read the top while I get myself organized here. All right, so it's talking about temperature of Celsius, Fahrenheit. It says the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Where is 100 degrees Celsius located on the thermometer to the right? Well, when I look at Celsius over here, it only goes to 50. So it would be on the right side, but it's not showing on our temperature gauge here. So we're going to say Celsius only goes to 50 degrees on this. But of course, we would know it'd be found on the right side because this is the Celsius side. On the vertical number line, describe the position of the integers that represent 100 degrees. So it shows 100 degrees Celsius. And that would actually be 100 degrees above 0. Since it's not on there, how would you tell somebody that? You would just tell them that it would be above 0. So then they would know where it is. Now we're going to switch to Fahrenheit. The temperature shown on the thermometer in degrees Fahrenheit. So if I'm looking on this side, Fahrenheit side, it looks like 100 degrees. And then we would write the letter F for Fahrenheit. And then what about on the Celsius side? Well, it's somewhere between 30 and 40. I see a scale of 2s, I think. 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Yep. Scale of 2. So this is going to be 38 degrees Celsius. The freezing point of water in degrees Celsius, it tells us right over here. This is the freezing point. That's 0 degrees. But in Fahrenheit, we typically say that water freezes at 32 degrees. Just kind of put that in parentheses. So that's when rain starts to change to sleet and ice. All right, the next one. If somebody tells you your body temperature is 98.6 degrees, what scale are they using? Well, if water boils, we read earlier, at 100 degrees, our blood is definitely not boiling, even when we have a fever. So it must be Fahrenheit, which makes sense. We talked about this is what we use for temperature outside when it freezes. This is what we're going to use for our body temperature. All right, does the 0 degrees mean the same thing? No. So we already discussed 0 degrees Celsius equals 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And then let's see, if we were down here at 0, be negative 10, negative 12, negative 14, 16 looks about be about negative 18. So there's your comparison. All right, one last page today. We're going to go to the back side of this page, page 6. So those were some real world situations for us. All right, write each word under the appropriate column. So we've got positive numbers and negative numbers. All right, so we've got a gain in a game or football. That'd be a positive term, but the opposite would be a loss. And then deposit. We're going to go take our money that we got for our birthdays and deposit it into our bank account. So that's positive. And then credit. A lot of times we think of our credit cards, but also you get credit, extra credit when you guys do assignments. And when you take something back to a store, they give you store credit. So that's typically a positive thing. Credit card, I know a lot of students think of as that being a charge, but they're actually giving you the advantage to pay for it later. Debit, though, debit is the debit card that maybe your families use. You take it, you use it, and it comes right out of your bank account. So you're getting it taken out right away. So a debit would be a negative term. You could also be putting the symbols up here underneath if you wish. A charge. Typically a charge in like basketball, that's a negative thing. You don't want to get a charge. That'd be a foul. Again, a credit card charge. We talked about credit cards, and then you make that charge, but you're taking that money out. You're paying with it. So that's going to be negative. All right, below 0, that's definitely here. A withdrawal, that's taking money out. You owe somebody money, that's a negative. But then you receive, we like to receive things. All right, so these terms are important to understand if it's a positive or negative. So when you're looking at these real world situations, it says write an integer. Remember, that's going to be a whole number. It could be positive or negative to represent the following situations. A company loses $345,000. 000. That's not a good thing. 345,000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 000. 0 you're just writing the number over here. You earn $25. Now, typically, I'm going to go ahead and put the number sign. Typically, you don't have to put the plus sign in front of it because it's negative. If it's not negative, then it's the standard form is positive. Jacob owes his dad $5. Negative. The temperature on the sun's surface is about that's pretty hot. 5,500 degrees Celsius. We just talked about Celsius before. So think about what side on the thermometer it would be. The temperature outside is 4 degrees below zero. And your negative number always goes in front. It would not look pretty like this. Okay, so let's not do that. And then a football player lost 10 yards. That's not a good thing. Negative. So again, the positives, you do not have to write them like this. We would not count it wrong if you wrote a plus sign in front, but all right, so describe a situation where you have negative 15. Explain what the 0 represents in the situation. So anytime I think of negative, I think of, 15 degrees outside. So temperature. Or you owe someone money. Or 15 feet below the sea level or the water level. A loss of 15 yards in a football game. So those are real world situations. And then again, what does it represent? It would be 15 whole numbers away from 0. 15 whole numbers away from 0. And that's all in the notes we're going to take today on lesson 1 and 2. Make sure again that you leave the problem sets and exit tickets blank. We'll be doing those together. Again, we prefer that you keep these papers in your binder in order. So no need to take anything out. If you do take things out for space, just make sure that you put them right back in the spots, as I'm going to do right now, with the page numbers at the bottom. So the page numbers at the bottom will help you put them right back into the correct spot. All right. I hope you learned a little bit about integers today, number lines, and some real world situations. Have a great day.